Now, coming in at number 100, we get to our Hell's Kitchen season, and we get to what is people consider to be the most forgettable Hell's Kitchen season, and unfortunately for good reason. That is Hell's Kitchen season 13. Yeah, it's the most forgettable season for a goddamn reason, honestly. Like, it's not like a abysmal season, it's not like anything that's like terrible or anything. But isn't there anything that's really like stands out? Like most of the cast I don't even remember. Like Tasha's like the reason why Tasha's on my low end of the win is because she's just not that memorable. Now bad win is just not memorable. Also, I can't say that for most of the cast as well. None of them are interesting, having interesting personalities, not any like true standout moments. Like the only true bright spot in the season is Sterling, who, by the way, this is the most forgettable season. Sterling's probably the most memorable person to ever be on Hell's Kitchen, and he's definitely in the debate with a couple people as my favorite person to ever be on Hell's Kitchen. I am dead serious. Because he's one of those people that, like, he's just the most likable person to be on the show. And Mr. 100. Always so positive and outgoing, and I'm always a sucker for those type of people we see on these shows. So people that just go with strong positive attitude. And go with a lot of positivity. And Sterling kind of reminds me of Mia, so yeah, he's definitely the huge bright spot in the season. But other than him, there's not much I can really say about the season, honestly. Good. It's just pretty forgettable. Speaking of forgettable, we get to what I think is the most forgettable Big Brother season in my opinion. I'm not sure a lot of people agree with this, honestly. And that is Big Brother 4. Again, Big Brother 4 is just fine. It's a perfectly fine season. Again, doesn't anything really terrible. It does have some pretty dated aspects, and that sometimes acting like pretty terribly at times, honestly. Which kind of really shows the age of this season a little bit. And that's kind of known for a lot of these type of seasons. But you know, those stuff is stuff that really like infuriates me or bugs me, honestly. Of course, you got Allison, who's definitely a memorable character in this season. And you got Erica is also just fine here, honestly. It's actually weird that she actually ended up being All-Stars, honestly, when I think about it. Some people, but the Three Stooges are also pretty memorable, despite for not being the most likable people in the world. And, but again, there's just not much I can really say about it. Other than Allison, and other than the couple rising moments, and after the season started the jury phase, and had an expulsion, equal expulsion, there's just not much I can really say about it. Sorry. Now we get to another interesting season of Survivor at number 98, and that is Survivor Samoa. Now Samoa is definitely one of those seasons that, depending on how you control one person in this season, will depend on your enjoyment. I always call this season from Samoa the Russell Haynes show, because this season is basically mostly just a setup for Russell Haynes to be on Hero vs. Villains. And yeah, there's a reason why Russell Haynes, yeah, say what you will about him, man. I know people definitely have had their opinions on Russell Haynes, and honestly for good reason. Like, the guy is definitely a very controversial figure, like both inside and outside the show. But you can like how great of a character he can be at times. How sometimes he can make for excellent and amazing TV. He does make for great TV for a majority of the season, even though he is the primary main focus, and he has like one of the most professional getters in any season. He does have his great moments, does have his great moves, great idol plays, and he was the first person ever to find an idol without a clue, which, while that's now commonplace in Survivor nowadays, it was actually first started here. Which is insane if you really think about it. But like I said, this is kind of similar to why I thought Ghost Island. So much focus on Russell. He's sometimes the best and the worst aspect of this season. Because I'm pretty sure nobody remembers like most of this cast, unfortunately. And some of them do have potential, some that feel like they could have been great characters. They just weren't really given the focus at Anna. Of course, there are some good characters here, like, of course, Shambles, probably the other big character on that Russell. Honestly, and some characters do have their moments throughout, but aside from that, most of the gameplay can make for some great moments, and some fun gameplay, but it can only handle so much, and we don't have kind of lackluster cast. Like, you can kind of have lackluster winners, but I probably enjoy Natalie probably more than most people. Even I can admit, I was like, really, she was a win. This was, I think this was definitely one of those first winners that I was like, that person won? Yeah, because it was more explaining like why Russell lost than why Natalie won. But yeah, I do think Small Dude has his moments. It's a decent season at best, honestly, but overall, again, the season will depend on how much you can tolerate Russell Haynes. And now we have an Australian season at number 97, that is Blood vs. Water, which is the ninth season. Yeah, season 9 would be very high on actually when I first watched it, but obviously I've kind of gone down a little bit in my rankings. Again, I still find a lot to enjoy about this season. I think it does have some pretty good contestants here as well, honestly. It's definitely interesting to actually see Sandra playing Australian's favorite season. Honestly, talking about that, you got Vernon have the same day as Game Changers and Winners Award. She's definitely been one of the better games that. It's probably the best that type of game that she played, honestly. Honestly, she had a lot more fun than I expected, actually. And we do get some pretty solid contestants here. Like, despite how boring he is at a lot of points, Mike did play a great game, honestly. Chrissy has a moment. Josh might be playing Eddie, played a pretty solid game, actually. And KJ has some moments. You get a pretty interesting game from Sophie in the pre-merge that you also get 2 instances of basically loved ones that actually voted out their loved ones, with Nina with Sandra and KJ with Sophie. And you also got probably one of the most brutal blindsides with Jesse at the final 11, which was wow. Talk about a brutal blindside. And also Jody is a fantastic character throughout as well. The problem with the season is the ending, which has always been the main issue with Australian's final season, as I mentioned earlier. That was kind of issue I had with All Stars, and it's kind of same issue I have with this, and also a couple Australian final seasons we'll get into. It's how the season's ended, because like I mentioned, the season's way too long. There's even this one portion in the merge where they basically have like 4 people get voted out, and 3 of them return in the merge, which kind of makes the episodes feel pointless. Like, damn, talk about stretching out. Probably one of the worst cases of panic I've ever seen in Survivor. Most of Australia, again, he's also very poorly edited, where basically they focus on certain people so much that some people get poorly edited. How there's one player that didn't get confessional till the freaking merge. I didn't know how to make that up. That's how bad the ending is. It's gonna be a time. And of course, and Mark is probably one of the more obvious winners, honestly. And honestly, I never found that interesting of a winner, more so a personality level. I kind of more enjoyed his wife Sam, honestly, who by these both actually competed in Australian Survivor 2017. But they're kind of early boots where they actually met, got married, and returned here. Which, that makes for a compelling narrative. But yeah, Mark is the most interesting personality in the world. Honestly, and there are some good moves, some fun aspects to it this season, honestly. Like, it's a decent season still, but it's definitely a season that's definitely on the low end and has one of the worst cases of panic that Australian Survivor has ever done with the twists and everything. Like, this season in general, like All Stars, played some of the worst aspects of Australian TV. Because remember, it's not just Survivor, it's for just Australian Survivor TV in general, so yeah. Not a terrible season, but yeah, the ending really brings it down. Now, at number 96, we get to the first of the Survivor South Africa seasons. Yeah, we've got 9 seasons of Survivor South Africa, and the fact that none of them actually end up being bad, definitely a testament to how good these seasons are, honestly. Obviously, some are bad, others which you'll get into, honestly, but the fact that the weakest season, as I would say, is like this low on this list, is definitely a testament. But at number 6, my least favorite South Africa season is Survivor South Africa Season 2, Panama. Again, not a bad season by any means. Like it's not one of those seasons that it's not like the most memorable season in the world, honestly. Like, it doesn't do anything that like really infuriates me or anything. It doesn't do anything like frustrates me to my freaking core. But it doesn't mean it's really memorable either. There's really not much I can actually really say about the season, if I'm being honest. I know some that there's some that I do have a lot to say, and there's some I really don't have a lot to say about. Not a terrible season, it does have some fun moments here and there, some fun character moments, but not really anything that's really too distinct, honestly. So, yeah. And then we go back on to Big Brother, and coming in at number 95 is Big Brother 18. Now, true, there are a lot of great aspects with Big Brother 18, and there's probably I still wish I could probably put the season much higher on this ranking. I think the one big issue I have with this season is some of the cast members, most of them not being the most memorable in the world, some nasty behavior, and of course, most of the pacing was on the back half that does kind of make it down a bit. Because there are also good aspects of this season, like you do get some great blindsides, especially with the Bronte blindside in the pre-jury. We also got some pretty good downfall with Paulie, who basically controlled the entirety of the pre-merge. Yeah, his cocky behavior really brought it down, really went to his downfall. And then you basically got some great fights here, especially the Davon and Paulie fight in the jury house. Obviously, you also got Nicole playing her second time around, and actually playing a really good game. James not being the most interesting character this time around, but does have his moments. Davon definitely spent some legacy a little bit here. Frank, no. And then there's Paul, Paul's always been a character I've always been so conflicted on, honestly. One of the kids that, like, I didn't really hate Paul at first this season, but I kind of grown to enjoy him more. Even though he says some pretty bad stuff at times. Corey was... What can I really say about Corey? Exactly. Victor, fantastic character. Turned into the game twice, which is insane, but I fucking love Victor. Well, not at first, but honestly, after the second time around, I pretty much fell in love with him. Natalie has her moments. Michelle, despite being annoying at times, does have her moments as well. And the cast is definitely a bit all over the place, which is kind of one of the reasons why it's where it is at number 95. It's more so, and the pacing can kind of drag in certain kind of portions, more so at the final 7 onward, honestly, but not much really happens. So there's probably that. How great had some good blindside, especially with the Jose blindside, the Bronte blindside. But in some ways, probably could put it up higher, but I'm still not huge on that. And it's one of the seasons I probably enjoyed the team twist the least. And I know that wasn't a fan of the whole roadkill thing, honestly. But yeah, it's a decent season at best. I definitely grew up a little bit appreciation for it over time, but not enough to put it any higher. Now at number 94, we got another Hell's Kitchen season. That's Hell's Kitchen season 11. Now I'm just kidding straight up. This season's way too long. This season, along with what Hell's Kitchen season we're getting into, is way too goddamn long. Like, oh my god, this season is so goddamn long. To the point where basically I have like 2 portions where they have like 2-3 episodes where no one gets eliminated. That's insane, man. So many long elimination episodes, so many cliffhangers, that it just becomes very tedious at a lot of points. That's one of the big issues that does put the season where it is, honestly. So the fact that you got kind of a mostly unremarkable cast in a lot of areas. And of course you got the whole like blue team storyline, which is kind of dated now because they're only getting season 16, but yeah, it's also fun the moments, honestly. Some characters having some fun downfalls. We do get some pretty good characters here, like Mary has a good underdog run throughout the season. Susan has some moments. John has a fantastic arc and one of the most likable chefs to appear in Hell's Kitchen. Anthony had an interesting run. Zach has also a pretty interesting run throughout the season. They also got the first service, which is one of the most insane services in Hell's Kitchen history, where 12 people got kicked out. Most of them blue team, by the way, which was insane. Insane. You do get some fun services, some fun elimination back and forth, honestly. It's a couple of good fights here and there. But again, the huge leg of the season, having successes that were just, in the end, ended up being very unremarkable. If you really think about it, like some I don't even remember all that much. Just big season where it is, honestly. And the fact, and Janelle's probably my least favorite winner, but I wouldn't say just like the worst winner in the world. She's just kind of unremarkable, and also the fact that she didn't end up actually getting a job in the end of the day. Just makes this feel a little pointless, but I still find a lot of enjoyment this season, probably a little more than most people. But yeah, it's definitely still one of my least favorite Hell's Kitchen seasons. Now at number 93, we get to more Big Brother, and that is Celebrity Big Brother 2. Definitely a little bit of one should downgrade from season 1, honestly, which I do enjoy, and you definitely will see high up on this ranking. But yeah, this season was definitely a bit of a downgrade, honestly. Most of that was because of a couple twists they tried to go, where they had this like fake house guest thing, where just like, you could just have him say he quit, because it looks like he did quit. I never answered that twist, honestly. It's a weird twist, and I'm sure not the only one thinks that, and it's still very suspicious to this very day. And the cast, it's fine. The cast is fine, honestly. It's not the worst biggest celebrities you could think, like, there have been worse celebrities, but some of them aren't mellow. The only really mellow one I find fine were basically Lolo, who definitely has her moments. Tamar definitely has her moments, and definitely was a surprising one, honestly, but it's still a satisfying one nonetheless. And you also got Tom Green here, who is an easy stand-up for the season, like true easy stand-up in my opinion. Even Kara was also that was a standout too as well. And Joey has his moments too as well. Like some of the characters do have their moments, but again, it's kind of just that remarkable season by it doesn't really have any like true distinct stand-out moments that really make elevate. It does have a little more fun too, which is probably why it's as high up as it is. But again, not just. But at the end of the day, not what I'm trying to like go back to rewatch. Now we get to number 92. I see that definitely a jump up a bit in my ranking, honestly, and that is Big Brother 9. Probably one of the more divisive Big Brother seasons. It's one of those seasons that you love or you hate. Obviously, I'm kind of a little more positive, but still a little bit in the middle at the same time. Because there are some good aspects about this season. Well, at the same time, there are some pretty terrible aspects about this season, honestly. Like, of course, I was never huge on the actual couple twists. You also got Jacob, who's probably the worst Big Brother player ever. Like, wow. Just wow. And there's Jen, whose terrible gameplay is just hilarious. and you got some saying some pretty terrible things, especially towards Amanda, that she didn't deserve, honestly. And you got some unfortunate weird twists of what they're trying to do here, which, yeah. You know, also got some not interesting contestants like Matt's the one I used to really like, but he kind of got down a little bit. The more I think about it, and same with Joshua as well. And Adam, I'm sorry, I know some people really defend Adam, but I never liked Adam, honestly. Maybe because the fact that he also is autistic because of retards, but I'm not sure if it's a joke or not, but he kind of like he is, so. Yeah, but even that, despite that comment, I never liked him, honestly. Despite some good moments, I'm saying he's like an all-bad player. Though he's done some pretty bad things after the show, but I never liked Adam as one. Even when I first watched the season, I never liked Adam. Ryan has some great moments, even though some of the hard lays bad gameplay. Sheila has a moment. I think she was actually a pretty underrated character. Sharon also has some moments. Natalie has some moments. James is a fantastic character. So the season is kind of more compared to Simon Cabone, a season that's just so batshit insane. And while I don't say it goes through that levels, because obviously it's number 92 on this list, it does have its great moments. But unfortunately, the terrible ones I mentioned earlier, like with how people act certain ways, and some questionable moments, and some questionable structure of the gameplay, do bring it down a little bit. It's seems I would not mind going back to rewatch or watch a lot of great moments from, but it's not something that doesn't. It's definitely fun, but those moments do bring it down. Now we go about another season of Big Brother Canada. And that is Big Brother Canada 7. Like, a decent season at best. Again, I'm still into kind of decent to good to solid here as right now, but Big Brother Canada 7, it's not a bad season by any means. Like, it does have great moments, honestly, but it's one, I guess that one season where you have like just a group of people basically steamrolling the entire season, which I'm not saying that if you steamroll the game, it doesn't make for fun TV, and this kind of proves a little bit that it can be fun TV because Dane, Anthony, and Adam are incredibly likable people. People are fantastic at playing the game and being dominant and winning a lot of competitions. And just short people to watch, and not like dastardly and likable people. They're just fun people to watch. Even Mark who ends up joining the alliance, the Pretty Boys later on, is a fun character. Honestly, and there are also fun characters like Samantha has her moments, Corey has her moments. I can see even Damon, SD, and maybe even Kira to an extent can have her moments as well. Most of the preachers, though, not the most memorable players in the world. And again, Pretty Boy pretty much like the most highest season is like a Mission Blindside, or maybe it's like for Samantha, or like any like big move that really excites you, or just any like true shocking moments. And you get a lot of the usual twists that you would expect, and yeah, I think it's just a bit all over the place at times. So it does make for the most like enjoyable season in the world. Even the Pretty Boys do definitely are the reason why it's definitely a bit high, honestly, because if they weren't, this season probably would have been a lot lower, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But they definitely do save from being a lot lower. Number 90, we have... oh boy, this season. Number 90, we have Survivor All-Stars. A season I was super high on when I first watched it, when I first got into Survivor. But obviously, I've kind of gone down a bit in my ranking, honestly. Like, yeah, this season I definitely have not held up at all, honestly, in a lot of areas. Of course, the main name to remember on the season is Boston Rob and Amber, who at the time, two people that were questionable choices for All-Stars. I mean, you can't have a 30 places where having some questionable choices, but they end up being pretty much the stars again. Their story in this season is dependent on how much you enjoy this season, and in my opinion, they are the best part about the season, honestly. But they do pretty much dominate the entire season. They end up surprisingly falling in love in this season, like actually falling in love, to the point where Boston Rob actually proposed to her in the finale. And to this day, 19 years later, they are still together and have 4 kids. I'm sorry, that is just still amazing, and that is amazing to witness this season. And that story is what elevates the season a little bit. Honestly. Of course, you got some other great characters here, like Sheehan has a moments, Rupert's still Rupert, Jenna Lewis is great, Big Tom has his moments, Jerry Mandy, Ethan, Colby, and then there's Lex, which leads to a lot of the personal shit that does unfortunately bring you down. While it can make for some great moments, while it can make for some surprising stuff, it doesn't make for the most fun TV. This doesn't prove that when you go really personal, sometimes it can't make for the most interesting TV. It can't make for great TV, but it doesn't make it fun. Fun, as basically, you know, Boss Rob tried to basically convince Lex to keep Amber virgin when Amber was on that tribe. Boss Rob went back on that word, and Lex basically just took it very personally. You know, he kind of did the same thing to Ethan a couple episodes later, so like, there's still a huge debate to this very day where people side with Boss Rob or side with Lex. That debate's still going on to this day, by the way. But there's still a lot of personal shit aside from that does kind of bring this season down a little bit, honestly, and don't have like many interesting blindsides or many fun trial councils. You got the whole Sue situation, which isn't the most fun TV in the world either, honestly. You got some players that were once excited, like with Rob Cicino, end up being cut early, and the merge kind of just drags on a bit, honestly. Kind of just peters out a little bit, honestly. So, but again, the finale and the love story and some good moments here and there do save it from being a lot lower, honestly, because that stuff doesn't make it for the most fun TV in the world. But yeah, not a bad season by any means, but it's a season I think has definitely not aged the best. Now we have number 89, which is the most recent new era season as I'm filming this, and that is Survivor 44. As I film this is the most recent new era season, and this Survivor season has done something I never thought I would feel about Survivor in a million goddamn years. I lost interest. I wasn't as excited as I usually am. And that's never happened with Survivor before. Of course, I think that probably was a lot lower, but there's still a lot of great moments that do elevate it. course, being the three main characters of the season, that being Jam Jam, Carolyn, and Carson, who are three of the best characters on the show. Most so Jam Jam, and most certainly Carolyn, who I think is probably one of the best characters to ever be on Survivor. And like, I loved every single. I could not get enough of Carolyn. Like, she is such an incredible character with many humorous moments, many great confessionals, and just a very standout personality. And I fucking love her. And even Jam Jam definitely has his fantastic moments as well. Like, and I definitely would have been happy with one thing, really, honestly. And Carson was also another great character as well. The cast itself overall does kind of mostly fits fine, honestly. Definitely probably in debate with 41 being the weakest cast of the year so far. Like, they've usually done well with diversity in cast, and there are some standout characters in this season and some fun moments, but again, it's not one of those seasons where I do think it doesn't really have a true distinct standout moments. Like, there are like a lot of fun moments, but not that one standout moment that's like, oh, that's how I remember this season. Not to mention, this is the only season where I think this season itself displaced the majority of the issues with the new era. Mostly with the twist. Mostly with the fucking twist, honestly, with that little tribe spring they tried to do here, and that whole Final 11 tribal, which, yeah, really get how players just try to play by themselves, and of course it's the whole purposely fake idol debacle, which I never understood, which it does make for fun TV at points, but you really betray your contestants' trust by doing that. And it looks like Survivor isn't taking a lot of lessons from this season, because I know they're all hyped about this season, and I know they think that they're not like love twists, they want more twists, when it's like that's kind of the opposite. Again, I don't think it was a bad season, which is probably why it's at number 89, but yeah, they're probably taking a lot of lessons from this season. Now back to another Australian Survivor season. That is Australian Survivor Champions vs. Contenders 2. Now I think this was this Australian Survivor season that people started to really notice the issues with Australian Survivor TV. Like, I'm pretty sure there were a little bit in the other seasons, but they weren't like massive issues. They weren't like huge, jarring, glaring problems. But it wasn't until this season where I think the issues really started to show. Honestly, most of in the editing departments, where a lot of sessions don't really get much confessionals. All the early boots are just kind of there. Like, a few times I don't think you get any confessionals at all, even in the boot episode, which is still freaking insane, honestly. But yeah, and of course, that's probably how much I love Pia. I got another pretty obvious one, and from Avalon. You know, she probably was close to being the first boot, but you can tell obviously though that she was going to be a winner. And there are also great contestants here as well. You got like Dirty Harry, who is a fantastic character, especially with his lies and how he does and everything, and which makes for awesome TV. You also got Turner Luke Taki, who appeared in Australian Survivor Season 2, which 2017 one, which we'll get into. And Luke Taki is an all-time great character. Like, Luke easily makes this season, like, all-time great character. Probably still may be the best Australian Survivor player that we have ever gotten. Like, he's just so awesome and so hilarious to watch from beginning to end. And Janine was also pretty fun as well. Abby has her moments. Simon, Daisy, and some of us do have their moments. Some have fun downfalls. But again, it's really the ending that does bring the season down, unfortunately. Much of how season is structured, and of course we got the usual, like, you know, doing some twist that just made for just a pad on the runtime, which doesn't really help, honestly. But again, it's still a solid season at best, honestly. It still has some great moments. There's also where we saw David, who of course won All-Stars, and he's also a fantastic character. But again, this season overall, it's not a bad season, obviously, but the ending, again, the editing and how the season is structured does break it down a bit. Now, at number 87, we get to Hell's Kitchen. Season 1. The first season of Hell's Kitchen. And it's very interesting when I actually watched the season for the very first time and noticed how vastly different it is to where it is now, honestly. Like, like some people get the first two seasons of Hell's Kitchen, actually, the The chefs, aside from what, maybe a couple, weren't actual pro chefs. Some of them I don't even really cooked much in their lives, which I'm sure was kind of the point of what they wanted to do here, but it definitely feels a little weird. Well, going back to how crazy and insane Hell's Kitchen can get now, and see where it all started. It's still a solid season, honestly, and this, like most first seasons, they're kind of like ironing out the nicks and kind of see what works and what doesn't. And the cast itself is just fine, honestly. Like, it's not like a terrible cast. There's not any like terrible chefs here, not any like unlikable chefs here. But some of them just unremarkable, honestly. Like Michael Doe easily makes this season, though. He's a fantastic character, has some great moments which is awesome, and they actually use very well, like with how he sabotaged Ralph with the final death pass, which is basically now a staple in Hell's Kitchen, but he kind of made that thing, and he has some great villainous moments as well. Well, you also get some fun villains, like Andrew being like a fun villain throughout the season. Ralph also has his moments. Elise has a really great arc throughout the season. And you get some kids making some pretty dumb mistakes that are still hilarious. Like this, what's the starting point of Hell's Kitchen? Anyway, while I wouldn't say it has like any true all-time great moments, it's still a nice starting point to get into the show. So it's definitely one of the first seasons of the reality show that I would recommend watching first. Well, it may not blow you away or anything. It is a solid starting point to an otherwise fantastic show. Now, at number 86, we get to another Survivor South Africa season. That is Survivor South Africa Malaysia Season 1. The start of Survivor South Africa. Again, like I mentioned, Hell's Kitchen, this is definitely a season where you can tell they're kind of still figuring out what they want to do with this type of Survivor portion, and it's a solid season. Again, I think similar to Paramount, though I don't think it has any true standout moments, but I do think it has more memorable cast. I think it has a lot more fun players, a lot more good back and forth between a lot of contestants. And I think it does kind of drive a couple areas, especially when you get to the usual this point where basically you got where you have like a few people get voted out in the jury portion, and then they come back, and you got a portion in the final four basically gets just elimination challenge instead of actual vote outs, which can make you feel a bit redundant, a bit off-putting, but other than that, still very solid, still fun, still has fun moments, more so in the pre-jury phase. Honestly, again, not a bad season, still a solid one, but not exactly the most riveting season in the world. Now we get to another Hell's Kitchen season at number 35, and that is 85, sorry. And then Hell's Kitchen season 10. Where do I even begin with this season, honestly? Because this was season that probably puts the most fights and the most screen matches out of any season of Hell's Kitchen. Not saying something. And that's the thing that's always so conflicting. Season's so conflicting in a lot of areas, because while it can make for awesome TV and some fun moments, the constantness of the bitchiness of it, and how does really act like total pigs and something make a little farther than they should have, does make the season feel a little redundant and a little just frustrating in some areas. Other than the fact that, again, like season 11, this season is kind of way too long. It again has a lot of cliffhangers, though what isn't as apparent or blah as season 11 was. And while some cliffhangers can make for fantastic TV and some good moments and some all-time great services, again, sometimes it can make the pacing really drag at some points, honestly. And get some pretty good plays here, honestly. If you think this was the start of Christina Wilson, well, I will say Christina Wilson's not the most interesting character in the world, at least on this season. I think she's much more better as a sous chef than an actual president of her first season. But even on her first season, it's still hard to see why Christina Wilson is still a recognizable character after Hell's Kitchen, and why she's probably the most successful person to ever be on. Why she's definitely the most successful chef after her season. You also got Justin, who has some fun moments, and Barnaby, who gets unfairly treated throughout the season by Ned, is also a great character. Clementa, all-time great character. Robin has her moments, honestly. Even Kimmy has her moments. Brian has their moment. You got the hilarious, fun first brood Tavon, which is fantastic television all the way through. I'm a second shift, I can't do this. Fellas, what do we do? Again, one of the most hilarious first boots in the history of the show. Dana's also a great character, like her little friendship with Christina throughout the season. Again, some of the fights still can be pretty fun and entertaining, and when it's done in a fight, and that's kind of what a good lot of shows is for the painness in the fights, and while it can be fun at times, like I mentioned earlier, the time really can't be a bit too much. I think we did a bit too much on that. But yeah, it's still a solid season, honestly. A season I would not mind coming back to, but again, it can feel a little bit too padded at times. Now we have a few more Survivor seasons to talk about, and I want to get to another Philippine season, and that is season 2. Like I mentioned, there was an actual Philippines version of Survivor I did actually watch. I think much I did, I'm not watching all the show because it's like one of the seasons that actually air like episodes on a daily basis, so that's a lot. It's like 6 episodes. I'm not making that up. Sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes it's even hard to find some episodes. So once I did not be watching these seasons, I do still remember enough. I still do remember them fondly. I even watched some on YouTube, so I'm still able to remember what happens in these seasons. So bear with me, but I think it's still pretty good and solid, honestly. Again, some of the condoms are fine, honestly. Like, this season also has kind of Reduction Island thing that they was only used in the pre-merge, where you had like a first boot actually make it to the end, which I think makes for a good underdog run throughout the season. I actually like the person Justine that ended up doing that. I don't think it has like true stand drop cancels except for the final 7 round, which was insane. And the winner is not the most memorable one in the world, but there was just some fun moments, some fun character moments throughout that do elevate from being where it is at number 84. Now we get to an interesting Devices season at number 83, and that is Survivor Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers, season 35. Season that changed Survivor forever as we know it, for better or for worse. I do have a lot of issues with this season despite that, but actually the cast overall is mostly solid, honestly. I would say some of them are kind of duds, honestly. Like, I've never been huge on Cole, I've never been huge on Desi. I like them more in the challenge in this season, and these seasons, are being honest. I think the first few rounds in the merge are kind of, aside from Jessica, brutal, kind of just whatever. You got some players that actually were once very memorable players, but and then become kind of duds later on, like with JP, who could have been a great character, but I think after like the 3rd or 4th episode, he kind of just comes there, which is kind of disappointing, honestly. But you do get some fun moments here, like you get the whole Alan Ball situation. The first episode, we asked JP to pull down his pants for an idol, which is insane. Alan Ball's also a fantastic pre-match character as well. Patrick has a really fun downfall as well. And the Rock Blindside was great. Al is a good pre-match character. Honestly, Jessica has her moments as well. And got Joe, by him be kind of like a prototypical Tony, has his fun moments. Lauren is a great character. Ashley I really like. Mike, fantastic. Like, pretty much the final 7 offered us fantastic characters. And Devin being one of the most likable people to be on the show. Ryan being a fantastic player and just a likable presence that you just cannot love from day one. Easy to stand up from the beginning. Chrissy, you can have her moments, but still a fun character. And then there's Ben, who, I really like Ben. I know this. I like Ben. I think he's actually a pretty underrated winner. How he got there was interesting, but and if I think find idols in the final 7, 6, and 5 onward, like, it's pretty insane, honestly, and not a good way. I thought that he was actually playing a really well around the game, actually, a pretty good game, actually, but that kind of fell apart, honestly, and then of course he got the out of nowhere Fire Force animation, which is now pretty much a staple in Survivor now. And while I'm okay with the while I'm actually okay with that twist now, I am okay with the twist now, honestly. I don't hate it. I think it's actually see why they wanted to do it. Even I can admit that cat came out of nowhere here, and it's like, are you serious? And it kind of like lets the impact on better way in the season, and those aspects do bring the season down a little bit for me. But honestly, I think the season is actually a bit underrated. Actually, I think it's a pretty good season, actually. Now, at number 82, we have Survivor Edge of Extinction. Speaking of Devices seasons, oh boy, the Edge of Extinction. The Edge of Extinction. Now, again, Similar to Redemption, like I mentioned earlier, I don't hate the concept of extinction. I don't hate it. Like, I think it's actually a pretty interesting concept, actually. I actually don't mind it, actually. I mean, I don't get my concept where basically we have Tesla's just, like, it's basically just a more modified version of that instead of just the duels. You have people trying to see how far you will go to get back into the game. I think that is a good concept and I think that is a good concept. And again, like this round though, it's always the execution that always brings it down. I think though, if they do decide to bring that back in the future season, they never try to add some tweaks on to make it feel like it's not unfair or just questionable, or maybe have a lot more screen time in a lot of areas. So yeah, it definitely leads to a very like bullshit and clusterfuck of a finale, but it kind of makes it fun actually. But again, aside from that, I still think this is actually a season. I think I've actually gotten going a little bit more. Honestly, time went on. It's definitely not a great season by any means. Honestly, I think some players are actually bring under edits. Some even Gavin, who I didn't realize was actually under edited till I really think about it. Honestly, but you do get some great characters here. Again, seeing Kelly Wentworth make this probably the best game that Kelly Wentworth's ever played. I always love anyone Kelly Wentworth. I'm a Kelly Wentworth stan. Dan Wright's also a fantastic character. Ollie was fine here. Joe was just there, honestly. But you get some other characters like Wendy's a great pre-merge character. Reem's a fantastic first boot. War Dog has his moments. Ron has his moments. Aurora has some moments. Building up Victoria, Lauren, and Rick, who I think are three all-time great characters and all-time great players. Rick Devens, again, this season also depends on how much you like Rick Devens, because he does kind of take a lot of the screen time after the training players get voted out. But I couldn't get enough of him. I could not get enough of Rick Devens. And then there's the fact that we got a third boot of the season in Chris Underwood. Ended up making it to the final six. And ended up winning the season. Which was definitely impressively, and his final four move will always be commended. It was definitely pretty unfair. And then she was kind of bland personality in that. Definitely, for what I seen in the Challenge USA Season 2 as I'm filming this, he actually has a much better personality that season, honestly. Probably not the most likable, but at least still something. And that makes it very kind of a weird thing, where it's like, it definitely a unique finale, but I'm still not sure if it's really or not. But there's still enough good. Well, it does elevate to being where it is at number 82. And now at number 81, we have. Sorry. At number 81, we have Survivor South Africa, Santa Carolina Season 3. Again, considering it was also a few years after the Season 3, this was still the same. They're still trying to figure out what they wanted to do with the South Africa portion of Survivor. Yeah, you can really tell, honestly. Honestly, with this weird twist they tried to do in the beginning and how it was structured. And this season, I think the season doesn't really have like any true great moments until the post-merge. Not that the preacher isn't bad or anything, but I think someone have to about a couple seasons we're getting to. It's probably the least exciting aspect of the season, honestly. I think the pacing does kind of drag in that portion of the season. But once it gets to the post-merge, a lot more characters stand out. You get a lot of all-time great moves. You get a lot of crazy back and forth, and it makes the final seven round. So great gameplay, great character moments, and of course I'm not saying about the runner-up who basically takes the wrong person to the end and ends up paying the price. This was something even more apparent than a lot of was getting to, because she kind of knew this probably would, because she should have been obvious that she should have won against this person, but yeah. Honestly, not much I'm going to say about the season. It's a pretty good season. I still do recommend, honestly. It doesn't really it has like great moments and some standout moments and some really good characters, actually. Like, Ashley is definitely one of the best players to appear on South Africa. You know, she kind of made that move of going up program instead of Gigi, and when she probably shouldn't know that Gigi should have a lot of votes, so yeah. Carolina, despite having a pretty much the post story does save it from being where it is at 81.